Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. You go. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Veshapapahamahamsapari Rajikacharya Astatar Sata Shri Srimad His My Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Veshapapahamahamsapari Rajikacharya Astatar Sata Shri Srimad His My Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Prem Sikoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vetikadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopnath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. All glories to His simple devotees. All glories to His simple devotees. All glories to His simple devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, everybody. So nice to be here. Thank you so much, Nanda Raj Prabhu, for the opportunity to do this today. No problem. Yeah, it's a wonderful service for Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Is this good? Oh, this is, I feel like this is like a significantly higher increase in the volume. Well, I want to ask permission and blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas here that I can say something beneficial for the increase of everyone's Krishna consciousness. We have Mishra Bhagavan Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, Nanda Braj, my god brother, and so everyone else is here. Thank you so much. Where's Gokulananda Prabhu? Oh, there you go. Oh, Gokulananda, you're here. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. So if at any point anybody has some discussion, just feel free to, ask a question. We can just make this like a conversation. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll just do these quick prayers really quick. Om Gyanatiramandasha Gananajana Shalakaya Chakshuramatamina Tasmaya Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Shapidamyena Bhutale Swayamukadamayam Daiti Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajetam Sahagana Mriganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamatam Shah. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostate Tapt Kanchana Garanghi Radhe Vanamnesre Vrishabhanustate Devi Pranamami Hare Pre Vanchkapat Rubyascha Kripasanubhya Evacha Patinana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 124. That's really coming up. Yeah, that's tomorrow's verse. Shrinivatam Swakata Krishna. Punya Shravana Kirtana. Idyanta Sihoda Abhadrani. Vidhunoti Suhitsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul and everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. And that's Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17. Naisha Prayasha Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. That's Srimad Bhagavatam 1-18. So this is a super important chapter. So, one more. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right, everybody. So today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 2, entitled Divinity and Divine Service. And so it's going to be text number 3 on the board. Okay. Yasvanu bhavatam akila shruti sharam ekam. Adyatma dipam atitir shatam tamo nirdham. Samsarinam karunayatha paranaguyam. Tam vyasa sunam apayami garam maninam. Yasvanubhavam akila shruti saram ekam. Adyatma dipam atitir shatam nam tamo nirdham. Samsarinam karunayaha parana gunyam. Tam vyasa sunim upayami garam muninam. Svashvanubhavam akila shruti saram ekam. Adyatma dipam atitir shatam tamo nirdham. Samsarinam karunayaha paranagoyam. Tam vasa sunim upayami garam maninam. Okay, please chant. Yasvadubhavam akila shruti saramekam. Adyatma dipam atitya shetitam tamo nirdham. Samsarinam karunaya parunagunyam. Tam vyasa sunam upayami gurum moninam. Yashvanubhavam akila shruti saramekam. Adyatma dipam atite shatam tamonidham. Samsarinam karanayata paranagoyam. Tam vyasatunam apayami garum amuninam. Yashvanubhavam akila shruti saramekam. Aryatma dipam atita satam tamonidham. Samsarinam karunyaha karunaguyam. Tam vyasasunim apayami garamuninam. Matajis? Anybody? Okay, word for word. Yaha, he who. Swa anubhavam, self-assimilated, experienced. Akila, all around. Shruti, the Vedas. Saram, cream. Ekam, the only one. Adhyatma, transcendental. Deepam, torchlight. Atitir shatam, desiring to overcome. Tama andham, deeply dark material existence. Samsarinam, of the materialistic men. Karunaya, out of causeless mercy. Aha, said. Paranya, supplement to the Vedas. Guyam, very confidential. Tam, unto him. Vyasasunam, the son of Vyasadeva. Upayami, let me offer my obeisances. Gauram, the spiritual master. Muninam, of the great sages. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Please repeat. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Purport. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras, or the Brahma Sutras, were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to presenting just the cream of the Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently, he also personally realized the commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross completely over nescience, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet, the unhappy materialist can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly, to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey. And although he is always harassed by his own material creations, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds and thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called jnanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such jnanis. But Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavad Purana. It is clearly said that this Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukadeva, the Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all of those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence. Srimad Bhagavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Sripad Sankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he wrote in his Sariraka Vyasa, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new quote-unquote presentation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavad school. From this introductory sloka, the beginning student should know that Srimad Bhagavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are paramahamsas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead. Despite Sripad Sankaracharya's admission that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation, the envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Srimad Bhagavatam. But those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Sukadeva Goswami. It is the transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Okay, Hare Krishna, everybody. I see a lot of people that have been coming for a long time, but is there anybody new in the audience today? Hmm? Okay. okay. I'll be preaching to you then. Okay. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada is mentioning these three levels of God realization. We have Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And so, basically, there is a comparison to a train. So the train, how many people like riding on trains? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. How many people like riding on trains in New York? Okay, just curious. Okay. So when you're there, you have to go down to, you have to find which one it is, where you're going, which direction it is, and then you stand at the platform. And when you see the train is coming, there is only a light. And you say, okay, there is a train coming. But then after the train comes, for some times, you see that the body of the train is coming. And so the train is revealing itself just a little bit more. And then after boarding the train, if you're hopefully on the right train, then you can go up and meet the conductor. So that's one way of describing the Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And another way is saying, just like the sun is a planet in itself, and there are, the resonance of the sun globe, and then you see the sun, and then you see the sun's rays, right? And so these rays of the sun can be compared to the rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, right? So each level is also compared to eternal form, then knowledge, and then bliss, right? Or Satchit Ananda, right? So there are people, as Srila Prabhupada is talking about, they're called Mayavadis, right? And they're envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so why is this, right? Why is a Mayavadi envious of the personality of Godhead? Can anyone tell me? Okay. A Mayavadi is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they want to become God themselves. They have a goal that is, I want to merge into the existence of God. And so people can say, no one can become God. What are they even talking about? And that's true to a certain degree. But actually, Krishna does have the rays that he emanates off of his own personal form. And this is called the Brahma Jyoti. So these people that have the desire to merge into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti effulgence of the Lord can actually have that desire fulfilled. But Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya for this International Society of Krishna Consciousness, has kindly come here to the West. It says it all in his pranam mantra, that he kindly came here to the West to preach the mission of Lord Chaitanya, and he has taken the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet by doing that, and he saves us from nirvishesha shunyavadi, right? The impersonalists and the voidists, right? So he's always kind of smashing these Mayavadis, and I think that's something he likes to do because it's very relevant and it's very necessary. So these people that have the desire to be one with the light or merge into the existence of God, actually, it is true. They actually do become one with the light. But can anyone tell me why that is not successful? Nanda Braj, I know you know. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so basically they want to enjoy Leela.
Well, if you want, I don't think anyone heard what you said. If you remember a little bit about what you said, yeah. Right. Two microphones.
So I was saying that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that after coming to the Brahmajyoti, the yogi falls down back into the material existence, and basically this is because they get bored. We're meant to have a life of adventure, a life of action, a life of greatness, connected to Krishna, right?
Yeah,
Because we want to be involved in His leelas, and so we have a desire for leela, and so therefore we can't stay in a nothingness.
That's really great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So it's so true that they can go into the Brahmajyoti, but it's simply like a huge waste of time, right? Right? Because like all of these different levels of Krishna realization, God realization, they're all Krishna, but it just depends on what degree they are Krishna, right? So in the Brahmajyoti, Krishna is kind of like what is it called? Displaying 0% of his personality, from what I heard, and so it's just the rays emanating from his effulgence. It's just a light, and the whole point of this material existence is that we can come to God realization, Krishna realization, by realizing that we are not this body, that we are spirit souls, and that this spirit soul is just covered temporarily by this material body, right? So basically, everything in this material world, it has a birth, right? It comes into existence, and then it stays for some times, creates a byproduct, or develops, creates a byproduct, dwindles, and vanishes. That's everything material, right? Every single thing material. And our body is actually material. So we come into existence, right? We stay for some time, create a byproduct, and then dwindle and vanish, right? But who is it that is vanishing? Is it us or is it the body, right? So actually, it is just the body that is vanishing. And so these impersonalists that want to merge into the Brahmajyoti, they actually are in illusion because they are eternally a person, right? Everybody has their own personality, and Krishna is desperate to taste each one of these services that can be rendered to him, right? Through the individuals that have the personality and can use it in Krishna's service. So they might merge into the light as a person, merge into the light, and be there stuck as a beam for many millions of years, or whoever even knows how long. I'm sure, well, Srila Prabhupada knows, but it says somewhere. But then, because their pious credits are diminished and exhausted, then, as Nanda Braj was saying, they have to come back to the earth to take birth again. And why is this dangerous? Why is this so completely dangerous? Can anyone tell me why it's dangerous to take the birth again on the material world? Yeah, that's a good point. What's that? It's an endless cycle. Yeah, thank you very much. So you don't know what type of birth you're going to get. And you're going to be stuck again, like the Ferris wheel of the endless cycle of birth and death. Has anyone, who's been on a Ferris wheel before? Me, right? Was it fun for like the first minute? Okay, maybe, right? Did anyone have fun on a Ferris wheel after like 4 rotations? Or was like everyone super bored, right? Oh, you like it? Okay. No problem. So most people, right? They're like, okay, we've been doing this, right? It's time for give me a new trick, right? So so that's why it's dangerous, because first of all, their prize credits are completely exhausted, and then they have to take birth again, right? And it's said that that any baby in the womb of his mother is at first praying to Krishna, oh please Krishna, please let me just worship you. I promise that this time I'll get it right. And then what happens after birth occurs? Boom, they get slapped, right? Please start crying, right? Right? And then here's the pain of the material existence, and all of the memories of the previous life are gone, right? And so if there is, I guess there is one good part about being reborn on earth, is that like the earth is a place where people can well, first of all, it's a place where people can preach, and second of all, it's a place where people can really gain this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So that's the whole point, is that like we've already been through 8,400,000 species of life, and to go through all of these species of life and come to the human form of life is the most valuable treasure. And so Prahlad Maharaj would say that we need to use it to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and take part in his glories and his activities. So getting back to the different levels of God realization, next one is the Paramatma, who is a super soul residing in everyone's heart. And they said this is like 2 birds on a tree, right? So the first bird, he is trying to take the fruit off of the tree and enjoy that fruit for himself. What kind of fruit would you guys like to enjoy? What kind of fruit? Anybody want mango? Okay, and then Krishna is like the bird watching the other bird, right? And he's just waiting for that bird to come back, turn towards him. And so also, Super Soul is there to guide us. The sincere seeker of the absolute truth is guided from within as the Chaita Guru, or the Super Soul, and from without as a spiritual master. And that's why it's so important to offer respects to our spiritual master, who is a transcendental via medium for Krishna himself. And so when we follow the instructions of the spiritual master and we carry out his orders, then we are connected through the whole parampara up to Krishna himself. Now, the third level of God realization is Bhagavan. And so, Mishra Bhagavan, can you tell me what Bhagavan means? Yes. Thank you very much. So, it's Krishna possesses all the opulences in full. So he's the wealthiest, he's the most famous, or rich and famous, he's the strongest, he's the most intelligent, he's the most beautiful, and he's the most renounced. And you see this so often that like everybody is looking for this in their lives. Like, this is why so many people want to be famous, because being rich and famous is the top 2 of the opulences, right? But what happens when people become rich and famous? Then all of a sudden they're bored with it, you know? It doesn't matter how much money you have. People still like don't have satisfying lives. But Krishna, who has all of these opulences in full, is the best person to make friends with, because if we need anything, then Krishna's got it, you know? And he's got everything. Look at that. Beautiful. Radhakala Chand, you're so beautiful. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. So, so that's what we can do, is we can realize that the riches and the famousness, it doesn't take you all the way that you want to go. It's not going to completely satisfy the self. So, Nandabraj, can you tell me what is the recipe for a completely satisfied self? 2 parts, right?
2 parts.
Yeah.
Completely satisfied self would be surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then.
But what are the qualities of the surrender? The 2 qualities?
Prabhu, I'm not connecting it.
No problem.
Unmotivated and uninterrupted.
Yes. And Gokul and Nanda Prabhu, can you help me out with the Sanskrit for that verse, please?
Ahetuki apratiyata.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. That's beautifully said. I knew I was going to butcher it, so that's why. That's why I'm so glad you could help me out with that. So this unalloyed, unmotivated devotional service, right? Unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. This is what takes us back to Krishna, right? Having the chance to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And, okay, so I guess we're just kind of like going backwards here in the purport. So how do we get that unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service? What is one of the things we have to have that unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service? Huh? Reading? Oh yeah, reading and study. Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. And see, I love that verse. Those are like 3 of my favorite verses. The verses read before Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Is that we have to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Okay. And then what is something else that we have to have, right? That in order to be connected to the service of the Supreme. Yes. Thank you so much, Mother Sacharya. She has said we have to have the authorized spiritual master. The spiritual master is the transparent via medium, which gives the instructions to follow. And if one simply repeats what he has heard from the spiritual master and follows the instruction of the spiritual master, then he has the chance for this uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Yeah. Okay, so, and you can see in this verse that there's a correlation, right? There's a kind of connection between wanting to please the spiritual master. So, I'll just repeat the translation one more time. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who out of his great compassion for these gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Now, why did they ask Shukadeva Goswami to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam? He's only 16 years old. Or was he 17? Is he 16 or 17? 16, thank you very much, right? Yeah, I mean, he was in the assembly of like millions of sages, right? Right? So they asked him to speak it because he was self-realized and they could tell that he had actually understood the purport of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And why did Vyasadeva write the Srimad Bhagavatam? Because he was unhappy with what he had written thus far, right? And he was kind of like lamenting to his spiritual master, I don't think I've done a good job. I don't feel satisfied. Not even he felt satisfied. And so what did Narada Muni say? He said, you did not glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is why you are feeling dissatisfaction. And in this purport, they were talking about how what could be misused? What was the exact words? That something like the Bhagavad Purana could be misused, or the Vedanta Sutra, something. One of those two, right? And it could be misused. And why could it be misused? Because you can see from the Puranas that they're like 99% on, sense gratification, how to get, good economic, good religiosity, sense gratification, and then liberation. But then there's like, it was there, Krishna was glorified, but it was just such a small percentage that it was not satisfying, right, to Vyasadeva. So Narada was like, you gotta glorify Krishna. That's the only way, right? And so then Srimad Bhagavatam is written, and these, 18,000 verses, or I heard maybe it's like 17,998, depending on how you count. They're all just there to answer the one question of who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And anything like a sutra is like baffling to me, because it's like very condensed poetry, and I am not a learned scholar, so I do not understand. But it's like when you see these sutras, they're so wonderful to like unpack them, right? And so if we take shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, then the loving service of the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Who can tell me what the word irrevocable means? Yes. It can't be turned around. You cannot take it away. So Srila Prabhupada is giving us this wonderful formula, right? Like all we have to do is just read Srimad Bhagavatam, and then our loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is established as an irrevocable fact, and it cannot be taken away. And that gives me a lot of hope, right? I'm like, I want to do that. I'm like, okay, I want to like spontaneously pick up Bhagavatam, let me read it, let's go, I have a long way to go though. Okay, and then I think actually it's already 8:25. Don't we have to end in like 5 minutes? Okay, sorry. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for class. It was actually really enlivening. And
Jai
I
Shri Prabhupada.
just came for the end, but you had a lot of nice points. I'm curious, like this point you just said about like really all we have to do is pick up Bhagavatam and read.
Yeah.
But I've heard at least that people have misunderstood even Bhagavatam. So is it really as simple as just picking up and reading, or is there some other qualification we need to have?
Well, that's a really good question. Thank you very much. So again, this goes back to the spiritual master, because the Srimad Bhagavatam is so complex, right? That it is beneficial to read always Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada's purports are here. But there's always going to be that nuance, right? There's always going to be that further explanation of the history. I mean, it's the history of the whole universe, right? And it's not even all of it's here. It's just like the cream, right? So, I cannot understand with my tiny little brain anything, right? But if I ask submissively to the spiritual master, then he can give the knowledge to which I can understand it. And why is that? Because he's a representative of Krishna, right? But if we take shelter of the spiritual master, then we get that, what is it called? Divigyan Rede Prakasito, right? We get that knowledge revealed in the heart. But if we take shelter of our own brains, our own tiny little brains, then we're going to be lost, right? Because my brain is nonstop telling me I need sense gratification, right? I need to be reminded like a million times a day that I'm not this body. And that's what the spiritual master is for. And if we don't have a spiritual master, then Srila Prabhupada, as a preeminent Shiksha Guru, can be the one to guide us until we get to the living representative spiritual master. So that's a really important point, that it is reading, but it's not just reading. It's reading with the submissive questions to the spiritual master, who is our eternal guidance, counselor, and friend. Right? Yeah.
Thank you. That was a nice response. I can't help but feel this, for me, like every single verse, translation, and almost everything in the purports. I have questions, so it feels impossible to find someone that will break down every little thing.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I don't want to misunderstand or misinterpret any part.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. That like beyond just having the Diksha Guru, having a Shiksha Guru is also super important. Or maybe even having 6 Shiksha Gurus, you know, if you can find it. And so I think that the reading circles and then the Bhagavatam study groups, they are super important. You know, all these Zoom calls that people do now, because it's just like, what do they call it? What do you call it? Churning the nectar of the milk ocean, right? Right? And then it's like that rasa, right? It's like that taste that we all are, that the nectar that we are always anxious for is available when you get 2 or more people together to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. But actually, just like it says in Nectar of Instruction, that's important to associate with more people that are more elevated than you, make friends with people equal to you, and give mercy to the people below you, right? So yeah, finding somebody that can be a guide for you, even informally, and especially informally, is very important. And so, you know, we just kind of can look around the community, and I'm not calling anyone out, I'm not even going to look at anyone, but like, but there are people that are very knowledgeable, and if we see, they seem to have something that I want to have about this knowledge of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then where did that knowledge come from? It didn't come from them either. It came from their spiritual masters, right? So if the spiritual master is not available, then he can be available through his teachings, and his teachings can be available to the person that carries those teachings within his heart. And then the person that carries the teaching of the spiritual master within his heart can impart that to other people. And even just being close to somebody that has some kind of love for Krishna, they can transfer, they have the power to transfer that love of Krishna just by their association. And so I heard just a couple of days ago that His Holiness Romapad Swami said, somebody asked him, how do you go from the impersonal level of realization to Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, worshiping Him? And he said that the answer is by association. If we associate with those people that have love of God, right, then they can transfer that to us. And it's definitely a Diksha Guru, but it's also Shiksha Gurus. Anyone has love, and we want to love. And Nandabraj brought up that wonderful point about desire, right? That and it says right here, that if they want to get out of the darkest region of God's creation, then Srila Prabhupada says, yet the unhappy materialist can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. So the purport is saying, if I am correct, Jai Srila Prabhupada, that it's not this opulence of name and fame that's important, or anything material, right? But the most important thing that we can have in our lives is desire to get out of the material world. And so if we can increase this desire, then maybe sometime we can come to the loving service of the Personality of Godhead. Anybody? Nandabraj, is this okay? Yeah. Mother Sucharya wants to.
I just wanted to make a comment. Is that okay?
Oh, of course. I'm
Okay.
just sitting here. Yeah.
So it's interesting that Krishna always looks 16, and Sukadeva Goswami was 16. And even though Krishna was a grandfather, a great-grandfather, he always looked like a fresh, blown youth of 16. Even in this material world, everyone says sweet 16 because it's the sweetest age. And I heard Prabhupada say on a tape lecture that 16 is the full blossoming of youth. And that he said after 16, it goes down. So it's very beautiful. And also the queens, Krishna's wives, they had the blessings that as long as their husband was present, they would not age. I don't know what happened after Krishna left. I didn't read anything, but they just stayed youthful, always youthful in his presence. So I was just thinking, and Sukadeva Goswami, he was always thinking about Krishna. So I don't know if it's related that he was 16 when he came out of the womb, but he was completely absorbed in beautiful Krishna. Thank you. Haribo.
Yeah. Yeah, his mother was like, I can't take this anymore. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. That Krishna is so sweet, and he's the sweetest.
And Krishna actually had to come and speak with Sukadeva Goswami in the womb of his mom, his mother, because he wouldn't come out. And so they asked Krishna, will you please come and talk to our son? He's not being born. So Krishna came and spoke to the son in the womb, and then Sukadeva agreed to come out because Lord Krishna asked him. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for such a wonderful class.
Jai
If I
Prabhupada.
may, I would like to add something to the question from Kaylee.
Please.
And, I wanted to encourage that, Srila Prabhupada says I'm alive in my books. And the more we read, and he wanted us to read, what did he say? He said, the problem is you're not, he says, you're not reading my books enough. I write these books for you. So the more we read and the more we ask our questions directly to Srila Prabhupada, the more he'll answer them. And if we just read more and we stay connected. Now, the way Srila Prabhupada is answering those questions through Shiksha Gurus and our Diksha Guru is, of course, there, It's a wonderful explanation that Sri Hari was giving about, having devotees around us that are able to increase our love for Krishna and to explain things clearly. But, and I'd like to say that I've experienced so many times where a question pops up my head and I continue to read the purport and Srila Prabhupada answers the question, or the next purport, he answers the question, So Srila Prabhupada is alive in his books, and if we really just ask him the questions, he's there to answer them. And sometimes he'll use so many different ways to answer those questions. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Anybody else? Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hare Hare Bo.
Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Kesamaya Namah Hare Gopala Govinda Rama Madhusudana Gopala Govinda Rama Madhusudana Giridhari Gopina Madhamohana Gopala Govindaram Gopala Govindaram Madhusudana Giridhari Gopina Madana Mohana Hare Rama Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Yadavaya Yadavaya